The deepest heartbreaks are the ones we carry quietly, long after the shouting ends.
The sun was setting over the small town of Ibadan, casting a golden glow over the quaint streets and homes. But for Sarah, the warmth of the sun was nothing compared to the fire burning within her. She had just discovered that her husband John had been having an affair with her best friend Emily. The betrayal cut deep, but what hurt even more was that John was planning to leave her and take their 2 children with him. Sarah's mind was racing as she thought about the implications. She had always been the primary caregiver, sacrificing her own career and dreams to raise their children. John had promised her that he would always be there for her and their family, but now it seemed like nothing more than empty words. Determined to protect her children, Sarah sprang into action. She gathered all her strength and courage, knowing that she would have to fight for what was rightfully hers. She began by gathering evidence of John's infidelity and his plans to take the children away from her. She documented everything from text messages to emails, and even recorded conversations. With her evidence in hand, Sarah sought the advice of a lawyer. She was determined to fight for custody of her children no matter what it took. The lawyer, a seasoned woman with years of experience, listened intently as Sarah recounted her story. She nodded sympathetically, her eyes filled with understanding.
"Don't worry, Sarah,"
the lawyer said.
"We'll fight this together. We'll do everything in our power to ensure that you get custody of your children."
Sarah felt a surge of hope. For the first time in days, she felt like she wasn't alone. She threw herself into the battle for custody, determined to protect her children from the toxic influence of their father and his mistress. The court battles were grueling, with John and Emily trying every trick in the book to discredit Sarah. But she refused to back down. She stood her ground, fighting for every inch of territory. She presented her evidence calmly and confidently, and slowly but surely, the judge began to see John's true colors. As the days turned into weeks, Sarah's children began to notice the tension between their parents. They were confused and scared, but Sarah reassured them that everything would be okay. She promised them that she would always be there for them no matter what. Finally, after months of fighting, the verdict came. The judge awarded Sarah sole custody of the children, citing John's infidelity and lack of commitment to his family as reasons for his unsuitability as a custodial parent. Sarah felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had done it. She had protected her children. But the battle wasn't over yet. John and Emily tried to appeal the decision, hoping to sway the higher court. Sarah knew that she couldn't let her guard down. She continued to fight, using every resource at her disposal to ensure that her children remained safe. As the months dragged on, Sarah's children began to heal. They still missed their father, but they were slowly coming to terms with the fact that he wasn't the man they thought he was. Sarah was proud of them, proud of the strength and resilience they had shown in the face of adversity. And as for Sarah, she had discovered a strength within herself that she never knew she had. She had fought for her children, and in doing so, she had found a sense of purpose and identity. She knew that she would always be there for her children, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Sarah emerged victorious, her children safe and sound by her side. She had fought against all odds and she had won. The experience had left her scarred, but it had also made her stronger. She knew that she would never let anyone betray her or her children again. As the years passed, Sarah's children grew up, and she thought she had finally found peace. Her daughter Rachel was thriving in school, and her son Alex seemed to be following in her footsteps. But as Alex entered his teenage years, Sarah began to notice a change in him.
He became increasingly distant and rebellious, often arguing with her and disrespecting her boundaries. One day, Sarah discovered that Alex had been secretly meeting with his father and Emily. She felt a wave of anger and betrayal wash over her, knowing that they were manipulating her son. As time went on, Alex's behavior became more erratic, and Sarah realized that he was being used as a pawn in John's and Emily's game. They were using Alex to gather information about Sarah's personal life, her finances, and her relationships. Alex would report back to them, and they would use that information to try and manipulate Sarah. The pain and anger Sarah felt were indescribable. She had given everything to her children, sacrificed so much for them, and this was how Alex repaid her. Despite her hurt, Sarah refused to give up. She knew she had to protect herself and her daughter from John's and Emily's toxic influence. In a difficult decision, Sarah disowned Alex, setting boundaries to safeguard her own well-being and Rachel's. The decision was not taken lightly, but Sarah knew it was necessary. She focused on nurturing her relationship with Rachel, who had always been a source of strength and comfort. Together, they rebuilt their lives, free from the toxic influence of John, Emily, and Alex. Sarah's love for Rachel remained unwavering, and she was proud of the strong, kind-hearted person her daughter was becoming. Though the experience had left scars, Sarah emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. She knew she would always carry the pain of her son's betrayal, but she refused to let it define her. Instead, Sarah channeled her energy into her relationship with Rachel and her own personal growth. She found solace in her work, her friends, and her community. Slowly but surely, Sarah began to heal, her spirit unbroken by the challenges she had faced. After years of dedication to her work and her family, Sarah finally reached retirement age. She had given her all to raising Rachel and fighting for their well-being, and now it was time for her to enjoy the fruits of her labor. Sarah and Rachel spent their days lounging in the sun, gardening, and enjoying each other's company. They would take long walks, cook together, and reminisce about old times. Sarah felt a deep sense of contentment wash over her as she watched Rachel grow into a confident, compassionate young woman. As Rachel approached her late 20s, she began to talk about her future plans. She had met a wonderful man, named Michael Alex. Alex's namesake but with a heart of gold, and they were planning to get married. Sarah's heart swelled with pride and love as she thought about walking her daughter down the aisle. The wedding was a beautiful, intimate affair, surrounded by close friends and family. Sarah beamed with pride as Rachel exchanged vows with her husband, Michael. After the wedding, Rachel and Michael announced that they were planning to move to a new country, starting a new life together. Sarah's initial hesitation gave way to excitement as she realized that this was an opportunity for her to experience new things alongside her daughter. Rachel and Michael chose a beautiful coastal town in Australia, with stunning beaches and a relaxed atmosphere. Sarah sold her house and joined them on their new adventure. As they settled into their new home, Sarah felt a sense of peace and belonging. She spent her days exploring the new town, helping with the grandchildren, and enjoying the company of her daughter and son-in-law. The three of them would take long drives along the coast, have picnics on the beach, and watch the sunset together. Sarah felt grateful for this new chapter in her life, surrounded by love, support, and adventure. She knew that she had faced many challenges, but in the end, she had emerged stronger, wiser, and more loving. As Sarah looked at Rachel and her family, she knew that she had done everything right. She had fought for her children, protected them, and loved them unconditionally. And now, she was reaping the rewards of her hard work and dedication. She was living a peaceful, happy life, surrounded by the people she loved most. The future looked bright, filled with promise and possibility. Sarah smiled, knowing that she had found her happy ending, and it was all thanks to the love and support of her daughter and son-in-law. She was grateful for this new beginning, and she knew that she would cherish every moment of it.
Did you find this story interesting? What is your takeaway from it and how do you think Alex's life turned out?